Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Sarcastic Barman, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to episode number 2 of Nutjob Tuesdays. This week, brought to you from the bar, because that's how much alcohol we're going to need to deal with the stupidity that's in the following video. So let's not waste any time. Let's roll the intro and get on with it, shall we?
Hello, you were listening to Feed Your Mind, and today we will discuss information about planes that were said to have crashed into an alleged invisible force field type barrier in Antarctica.
Hang on. Didn't we talk about planes last week? Didn't we already determine that only one plane actually crashed while out and about flying, and that was in a blizzard, and the rest were helicopters crashing while missing a boat, an updraft, and one coming loose? Unless he's talking about a different mission, I'm not sure. We'll have to play through. Last week was so long ago I can't fucking remember.
And so, this was said to have taken place during Admiral Byrd's Highjump mission. And so Project Highjump actually began around August of 1946, but this Highjump mission was actually canceled early and only lasted till around February of 1947.
Yeah, Operation Highjump ended in 1947 because the weather turned shite, basically. End of February, early winter was basically approaching, and bad weather. What more do you want to say, really?
What do we know about Operation Highjump, about Admiral Byrd's expedition in the autumn of 46, the early spring of 47, to the South Pole? This is an expedition that has been almost forgotten, and it's very hard to come up with any information about it. It was a massive naval operation. It was not, as it has been presented to the public, that it was a peaceful expedition to explore the natural resources of the South Pole.
I feel like a lot of this video is just repeats of last week's, but first we need to address the fact using a UFO researcher to talk about Admiral Byrd's operations, which I just find really amusing, because unless you're going to say the UFOs are either Germans or something like that, then the possibility arises of, where are the UFOs from? Are these actually alien UFOs? And in which case, where are they coming from if the Earth is flat? It's not probably the right guy to pick to back your corner there, is it? Secondly, even the official reports don't mention resource finding as the first thing. The first thing is training and testing of personnel in frigid conditions, basically. Because, you know, we mentioned this thing with Russia last week, and then, yeah. Oh, dear me.
And then they started a massive overflight over the whole area of the South Pole. What was it that Admiral Byrd found on the South Pole?
Well, whatever they found, it couldn't have been that exciting, because they didn't stay long because the weather went shit. What are you people expecting? You think they found a UFO base? No, they just went for a fly over the poles, because that was one of the reasons of going there. You know, frigid conditions, testing equipment, especially when you're comparing the conditions in Antarctica to Greenland, which makes an ideal sort of base in Greenland, doesn't it, for patrolling the oceans? And possibly flying over the North Pole and going bombing people. Fucking hell.
So the official story is that this high jump mission was a mission to establish Little America down in Antarctica as a permanent research base. But by the looks of the equipment that they brought down there with them, there's probably much more going on there than we're being told. And so one thing you must know is that whatever happened to make this mission end so suddenly is probably related to the reason why there is an Antarctic treaty that was established just 10 years later.
Hang on, you're going to make the claim about the equipment being taken not suited for the mission, but then not mention anything else about the equipment. So which bit didn't you like? We can go through the ship. So there's a couple of seaplane tenders, probably quite handy with the lack of runways and things until they make some. An aircraft carrier, again, very handy. Couple of destroyers, yeah, that's fine. A submarine, yeah, handy, get under the ice and things like that. Some tankers, some supply ships, a communication ship. Which bit of that from Naval Task Force seems out of the ordinary? I mean, there was only the 12 ships and the one submarine, so it is a very small force if they were going to fight anything. So I just think you're talking out your ass, really. And an entire Antarctic treaty 10 years later. If it'd been the next month or something, you could see maybe something more sinister going on. But 10 years. 10 years is a long fucking time.
Around 1958. And so skeptics will say, oh, this Antarctic Treaty is all about saving the whales and the environment and stuff. But really, in 1958, those types of causes were not really around at that time. So that's not the reason why Antarctica was cut off from being accessed.
A couple of things we're going to have to clear. Firstly, the treaty wasn't signed until 1959, December to be exact. It didn't actually become live until 1961, so your 10 years sort of thing is well out of the fucking water. Secondly, the treaty actually promotes scientific access to Antarctica as long as certain guidelines are followed. The main point of the treaty is to stop any military access in Antarctica. If you'd done any sort of looking up, you'd know there was a couple of little situation, shall we say, before the treaty and things during the 1940s, especially between Britain and Argentina. Yeah, we're always grumpy at each other. Oh well. But yeah, you're just clutching at straws. Antarctica's fully open for anyone who wants to go to it. You've just got to follow some guidelines and put in your paperwork and say, I want to go there. You can go.
And really, another thing that you must remember is that almost every single major country is part of this Antarctic Treaty. And so, you must remember that with all of this alleged hostile activity between all of these countries, they're also cooperating very nicely in Antarctica and the space station and stuff like that.
Yep, these countries trade with each other as well. Do you think because the politicians don't like each other, they should probably stop doing that? Probably not. And the scientists will just get on with each other for the main point of they're getting paid. They're not going to care. Secondly, did you not do any Cold War stuff at all? Is this like a brand new thing to you? Oh yes, all the hostility. Yeah, hostile in the way of, if we sell arms to this person, they can fight that person who likes the people we don't like. And hopefully it'll get rid of the people we don't like, so then we can put someone we like there. Yeah, just Middle East as a prime example for all of that. And yeah, it didn't play out well, did it? But no, let's move on to hopefully something not as crazy and useless as the crazy uselessness we've just had to look at.
But yet, when you turn on the news, you keep hearing about Russia-U.S. relations and China and North Korea and whatnot. And so the way this world operates behind closed doors is not what we were told.
And? I mean, what are you expecting? That a load of countries that sign a treaty can't have disagreements in other areas because they have a treaty in one area? No, it doesn't really work like that, does it? And also, countries are allowed to not like each other and still get on with each other in other areas. I mean, Britain hasn't liked a lot of Europe hasn't liked Britain for a lot of time during the last several hundred years. It's probably only in the last 150 odd years that we've stopped fighting most of Europe on certain things and going, no! Well, I know we've fallen out now, but yeah, you know what I mean. Move on.
And so, during Project Highjump, this was a massive military operation that consisted of an aircraft carrier with 33 planes.
Oh my word, an entire aircraft carrier that designed to carry 90 to 100 ships, only carrying 33. Oh, the terribleness, the amazing war effort they must have gone through to only take a third of the complement of fucking planes with them. Seriously, 33. I checked, it was actually 33 planes in total. They took an aircraft carrier and 2 seaplane tenders and only thought they were going to need 33 planes. Which is fine, because they obviously weren't fucking fighting anyone.
There was also said to be 13 battleships.
No, there was 13 ships. Just ships, in total. 13. I mean, America didn't have 13 battleships by 1946. I don't think any country was really using many battleships in 1946. The ones that got destroyed during the war weren't really replaced, and when they were replaced by destroyers or aircraft carriers. This is the age where the plane really came into its own in Second World War, and showing how naval fucking strategy involved planes more than anything fucking else. And if you want to say the 13 battleships you're on about actually include destroyers, battleships, cruisers, PT boats, things like that, fine. They still didn't fucking send 13 ships as well as the aircraft carrier, as well as everything else you're fucking probably going to say in a minute. 13 ships, including the aircraft carrier, including the submarine, supply boats, icebreakers. We went through this earlier, which is more amusing because I didn't know you were going to do this list. But you're still just digging this big hole that shows you didn't actually look into any of the bits.
Several armed submarines.
One submarine, including the 13 we just fucking...
About 4,700 U.S. troops, and also reports of British and Russian involvement.
4,700 men. Wow, they must have fought some really big battles with that many troops. 4,700 men. That's a pathetic number, really, isn't it? If you're saying there was something important going on, why send so few actual troops? I mean, the aircraft carrier's got a complement of officers and enlisted people of around 3,000. The seaplane tenders are fucking 1,000-ish each. Then you got the couple of destroyers, submarines, supply ships, tankers. There was far more men than just as Navy fucking personnel than troops. Surely if you're going to do something really important like fight secret bases and Nazi camps and things like that, you're going to send a lot more troops. 4,700 is between fuck all and naff all when it comes to fighting fucking battles. Seriously, and reports of British and Russian involvement by whom? Where? Sources would be really nice on this, and if it's Galnet fandom or something like that, I'm going to laugh my fucking tits off. Because that's one of the few places I can see about Russian and fucking British involvement. And the Galnet fandom one is the one that talks about Nazi bases, UFOs, and it's a fandom site. It's not real. Fuck my life. Where's my fucking beer? Just no. No.
So this seems to be quite the operation for simply setting up their permanent base in Antarctica.
No, it's not. It's quite a small force in the grand scheme of things, isn't it? It's pathetically small. Jesus. No. Fucking hell.
It really seems like there's probably much more going on than what the official story leads us to believe. And so in my video, Secret Discovery in Antarctica Hidden in Plain Sight, we go into a deeper discussion about what was going on before and after this whole Highjump mission. So check that out when you get a chance. And so Admiral Byrd was said to have spent about most of the 1920s and the 1930s down in Antarctica.
Most of the 1920s and 30s? Really now? Now let's see, he had his first expedition in 1928, so I suppose the 2 years, that counts as most of the decade really, doesn't it? It doesn't though, does it? No. And then the second expedition was what, 5 months thereabouts? So yeah, that's most of the 30s. Even if you want to go in for the third expedition, which even wasn't that fucking long. Are you just a pathological liar or a moron at this point? Because these are easily lookable facts, because enough time has gone past that freedom of information and shit like that, you can get the full reports on this shit and find that, hey, do you know what? He wasn't there for an entire fucking decade or most of a fucking decade, at least 2 fucking decades. The fuck is wrong with you? We haven't even got to fucking crashing planes into a fucking force field, which was the title of this fucking video. There's not much of it left, but I fucking can't be arsed. You need a drink to deal with this fucking rant we're going to have to go on. Nothing you've said in this video is correct so far, so why do I think the rest of the video is going to be any more goddamn correct? I've already removed the rest of the video from the timeline just to finish this off, because at this point I'm feeling like, nah, it's more important to go and chill out and just enjoy the rest of my night, because I'm off tomorrow morning. Woo! We don't open the pub on a Monday until 4 o'clock. It's awesome. So on that note, I'm going to leave this video here because I can, and because you're just making me want to drink more, as you can see. But yes, big thank yous to members, patrons, everyone who makes these videos possible. I hope everyone's enjoying this playlist of dumb shittery. That's what we're going to rename it. It's no longer the playlist of doom, it's the playlist of dumb shittery, presented by dumb shittery Heather, who thinks this is good fucking information. It really fucking isn't. This is the most waste of space information I've ever fucking come across. We haven't fully decided on Thursday's video. We've had a few people going, yeah, do 5G nut jobs, which means we could do a video about Mark Steele and more about talking about Mark Steele and the entire Luddite sort of idea that technology is bad. So we could do that, or I could just keep drinking. Both are good. But apart from that, thank you very much, everyone. Don't forget to leave a comment, leave a like, share this video out. If you find Heather, whatever her name is, you'll see from the last video, go and say, hey, this weird person you've left the video response to is going through the video slowly but surely, because I'd love to see her fucking take on the crap shittery that I'm giving video treatment to. I think that's everything. We'll see you on Thursday for the next one of Nutjob Thursdays, Nutjob Tuesdays. Everything's a nut job at the moment. Rude nut jobness. Good night.